It is the final SPFL award on the hashtag Fog Awards for the year 2023. And just like Celtic win everything else, they have another big W in this poll. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. We asked you who was the club of the year for 2023. So not a 2022-2023 season, not the 2022
Aye, mate, know your role, shut your mouth. It's Club of the Year 2023. The League Cup last year, right, was actually in this year. So Celtic have won 3 trophies out of possible 4. Celtic are the Club of the Year, right? They've won a treble. They're top of the league. What else is there really to say? I'm not going to greet about it.
I'll tell you what there is to say. I can't believe that's been kept in, but let's go.
I'm not going to pretend that Rangers should be on this list, right? And for all the Rangers fans, you know, that are out there crying that they're not on this, how can anyone make a case that Rangers are Club of the Year? I'm sorry, you can't.
Shut your mouth, right? See, instead of just talking random nonsense, I'll actually go through the credentials of these teams, because you're just going to put over Celtic here and bash Rangers, but I'll tell you why Rangers shouldn't be on this list. First of all, Celtic, what did they do in the year 2023? Let's get this over and done with. Well, they won 3 trophies compared to Rangers as 1, and I believe they spent, wait for it, 51 weeks out of 52 on top of the Scottish Premiership table.
Well, that's actually impossible considering the fact that there's some weeks where nothing was getting played.
No, they're the champions, so they remain on top.
No, Aberdeen do, mate.
No, they
alphabetical order.
Piss off with that shite.
I'm claiming that.
Well, Aberdeen should be on this list then, according to you.
No, they shouldn't be.
Anyway, look, Celtic, majority of the weeks on top, first of the table, won 3 trophies. It is what it is. Celtic are better than Rangers this season. Dunfermline, what did Dunfermline do? Well, they won the Scottish League One at an absolute canter, despite having tough opposition, what we thought was going to come for Falkirk. They kind of blew Falkirk away, and they turned a 2-horse race into a 1-horse race. Falkirk, if they were a horse, would have been that horse that fell at like the 3rd or 4th hurdle and had to get put down after a broken leg. And Dunfermline just managed to go on, and they just ran their way to the finish line. So
shite, jobby. Move on.
Thing. So the Captain Dandy. So Dunfermline won the league at ease, and what they've done this season, they've come up into the championship. We all talk about how the championship is hard and it's difficult, this and that, and they're doing a really good job. You know, they're pushing for a playoff promotion, and I believe they're currently sitting in 5th place and looking, or 4th place even, and looking like they could get one of those playoff spots. So for me, Dunfermline, I think they've had a good year. They've been successful. They've won a league, and that's something that Rangers cannot claim. So I think Dunfermline deserve to be on this list. Airdrieonians, probably the form team out of everybody towards the end of the 2022-2023 campaign. They came through at the end like a fucking runaway train. They absolutely annihilated everybody in their path in the playoffs, including Falkirk. They smashed Falkirk on aggregate to get into the championship, and then people think that they're going to go straight back down. They're not good enough to fight in the championship, and they're proving people wrong. They're doing what Dunfermline are doing. They're fighting for one of those playoff promotion spots. So for me, Airdrieonians definitely deserve to be on this list, and I believe we've also had a few Airdrie fans comment how good their team has been over the past year. So I can definitely make a case for both Dunfermline and Airdrieonians being on the list. And finally, Dundee, all right, last season, I don't think they were great, but they still got the job done. They battled back. It looks like Queen's Park had an insurmountable lead, but Dundee fought back. Even though you could argue Queen's Park bottled it or whatnot, they got in to front in the table, they got into a winning position, and then they beat Queen's Park in the big game that mattered. They got promoted, brought in a brand new manager, Tony Docherty, first job as a first team coach, and he took the league by storm. Dundee are playing some really good stuff at the moment. They might be sitting in 7th place, but they've got a few games in hand, and if they win them, I believe they could go as high as 4th. So I think Dundee have had a great campaign this season. Anytime Dundee come up, they're expected to go straight back down, and they're at a position now where no one's even contemplating them getting relegated. In fact, instead of looking behind them, they're actually looking in front of them and potentially going to push for a top 6 spot. So when you put it like that, I think all of these 4 teams are worthy of being on this list, and I think they're certainly more worthy than Rangers. What did Rangers do? They won a shitey Fireplay League Cup trophy. And if we want to talk about Rangers getting robbed against Celtic, then let's be honest, Aberdeen got robbed against Rangers because Duke should have had a penalty. You want to throw your penalties around, boom. Where was Willie Collum that day?
I don't know.
A bunch of fannies.
Anyway, aye, compelling case, right? But Celtic still win, 57% of the vote. I agree with it.
I'm not saying Celtic shouldn't win. I'm just saying I think these 3 other clubs deserve some
respect.
I
just want to address the first comment here, right? We feel your pain, Fog. No, but that's almost like, why is this even a question? Because it's a poll, right? Everyone knows it's Celtic. See a club that wins a treble, it kind of has to be them. Doesn't it?
I would say so, but I think if you put Rangers in this poll, they would have got frighteningly close to Celtic in the percentage.
They probably would have. I'm not denying that, right? But they didn't. They're not on this poll. We didn't put them on this poll, and rightfully so. But yeah, so Dunfermline were last, Airdrie were 3rd, and Dundee were 4th. Would you agree with that order out of those 3?
I think it's difficult to gauge because Dundee are kind of doing what Dunfermline and Airdrie are doing, but in a level above. Although last season, Airdrie and Dunfermline were a lot more dominant than Dundee. Yeah, Dundee won their league, but they kind of, they were kind of gifted it by Queen's Park. So I think it's hard. I do think that Celtic deserve to win. I personally can see a case for having Dunfermline, Airdrie and Dundee in any order. Although the fact that Dundee are in the top flight, maybe you give them the benefit of the doubt. So yeah, I'd probably say so. I think Airdrie, just due to how good they were towards the end of last season and how easy they came through the playoffs, I think you can certainly make a case. Plus, they're not as big a club as Dunfermline, so they're not really expected to challenge as much as Dunfermline are in the championship. So, yeah, I would have went probably with Dundee, if not Airdrie, for second.
Fair enough.
Actually, I probably agree. I think I agree with the order.
Let's see. See Airdrie, man. The game. AKM. I know I'm biased as an Airdrie fan, but what we've done this year is not easy. Promotion, Skelton Falkirk 7-2, going 4-4 in the League Cup group, putting 3 into a Premier League side in the second round and currently 5th in the Championship for the first time and being there in 10 years. We replied, I grew up in Airdrie, they've had an amazing year, hopefully they can continue and push for a promotion playoff spot.
By the way, when I commented that, I forgot to add Airdrie as a shithole, so I'll just add it now.
There you go, you've added it. It'd be buzzing though to finish 8th. Anything above that is a bonus. Boys have been superb recently.
Oh, come on, you're going to Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to you, the game in AKM.
Happy New Year.
And don't worry, you're going to finish higher than 8th. You've got my word.
You've got my word on it, brother. Right, Gary. Has to be a wind-up, undeniably Celtic.
Hold on, Gary, you stupid fucking tosspot. What's the wind-up here? Celtic are in the poll and they've won it unanimously. They've won it with 57% of the vote. How's that a wind-up? It's not like we didn't include Celtic, or Celtic have come in last with 1% of the vote. Who's getting fucking wound up here, mate? It's you.
Well, it sounds like you, actually.
Well, comments like this piss me off. I mean, it's 4 a.m. I shouldn't have to read that shit. Sort it out, Gary.
I'll tell you what, right?
What have you got to say about that?
No, he's a fucking...
Are you going to accept it?
He's a fucking tool.
Are you going to bow down? Why don't you give it a heart since you love him so much? No, you think Gary's great. There you go. Big fucking heart for Gary. You know what? I'll give you a thumbs up, right? And see this thumbs doing? Go shut up your arse while you're at it.
Let's look at the immortal Hulk Hogan here. Rangers still in Europe, topped their group, into the last 16, also treble on the cards and not mentioned. Embarrassing. I'll tell you what, it is embarrassing. No, listen. He said treble and no quadruple.
Well, it is. No faith in the team.
I'm sorry, right?
No faith in the team.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and fuck off. Because, no. I don't give a fuck if we're still in Europe, top the group, last 16, treble potential. Celtic did a treble.
Couldn't even beat bloody...
No, I mean, come on, take the blue tinted specs off.
Who was that shite team that couldn't beat over 2 legs?
No, listen to this comment though, right? He is saying that Rangers should be in this, potentially win it because there's a treble on the cards. Celtic did a treble.
Hold on. Hearts can still do a double.
Aye.
Why's Hearts not on this list?
No, come on. I'll call it delusion for both sides. That's a fucking retard.
Plus, it does factor in last season as well, and that didn't go too well for Rangers.
No, how can you use the argument that there's a treble on the cards when Celtic have literally did a treble?
And could do another treble. But that's for next.
They could do a double.
But yeah, but the treble in the cup, that's for next season, isn't it? So.
Aye, so it's irrelevant.
That doesn't really matter, does it?
Maybe, yeah.
So should Rangers be given like praise because they've still got the chance of doing a treble, even though they haven't went on to do it?
I'm all for putting Rangers over Celtic, obviously, but I can't be deluded and say that Rangers had a better year.
Hey, but you did skip a couple of comments. Mr. Nice said none of the above.
Rob,
obviously a Rangers fan.
Rob said Savile FC.
Could be another Rangers fan.
See at the floor, who's Savile FC to you?
Who'll
fix it?
Merton said.
Who's on the list?
Merton66 said, "What a ridiculous choice." So I think that's 3 Rangers fans in a row, and they've all went different ways about commenting.
What about Colin?
One got fucked out of Europe with a team worth millions. The rest do well on a shoestring. Colin could be a Rangers fan based on that comment.
If we're on about a shoestring, I would probably give it to Airdrie because, I mean, Dunfermline should have won League One and Dundee should be winning the Championship. Well, Airdrie was a bit unexpected. I'm not ready.
Let's see these 22 comments.
Prepared.
Scott Malkinson also just got bummed twice by their only rivals, not to mention other performances against Aberdeen. Aye, they've lost both Old Firm games and they've lost quite a few games to Aberdeen as well. It's not been pretty, but that's what it is.
Paul Doherty says, extremely lucky versus best.
Yeah, but this is for the 2023 year. And as far as I'm concerned, Rangers can't do a treble in that year. They can only win one.
No, but look at this, right? I'll actually defend Hulk Hogan here. Extremely lucky against Betis. How were Rangers lucky? Deserve both wins for me.
I would agree with that. Like, I thought they were. I'd say that's only 2 games they played well in.
Yeah.
I thought there were games they sucked.
I think. Well,
they're already against Sparta Prague at home.
Celtic deserved to beat Feyenoord, right? And I think they deserved to beat Lazio. There you go.
And I think they deserved to get something against Atletico Madrid. Well, they did. I know.
I'm not afraid to admit that.
Aberdeen deserved to win a bunch of games that they didn't.
I know Rangers topped the group, but if Rangers finish third, I know it's a big change, but Betis could very easily beat Rangers. It was a close game, but I thought Rangers edged it. I would have gave Aberdeen the nod for the best group performance, but Rangers topped it, so I had to give it to them.
Although I would say, no, Rangers I think had the better campaign in terms of results, but in terms of actual performances, I think you could have said that Aberdeen were the best at the 3.
Yeah.
Celtic got beat by Kilmarnock and Hearts in the space of a week. What has getting beat got to do with the original comment? Yeah, I mean, everyone can lose. It's not a just because you lose 2 games in a row doesn't mean you can't be considered. Scott Malcolm said, the fact you're mince. Celtic aren't winning world beaters, are they? Don't remember saying they were, mate. Fair enough. We've been woeful this season. It's not been pretty for sure. This title could go either way. It is completely wide open.
Probably the most respectful bunch of comments I've ever seen.
Yeah, then the young boys just comes in and just laughs at it, so obviously he doesn't think so.
What you gonna do, brother?
Oh, hey, beat them away, home and away, but it was lucky. Remind me how you fared with Sparta Prague and Betis in the last 3 years. Exactly. Pumped rotten. We've had the same pish from you the last 3 managers. Remind me how that has went. Who's apparently world beaters after Clement came in. For fuck's sake, calm yourself. You're the one getting excited. Not worried about Celtic, mate. I'm more confident we will have the title in the bag than I have ever been. One quality goal from Kyogo was the difference. Otherwise, we could have walked away with a draw with only 10 men. Then you lot would be chasing Brenda and the team bus down the road again. Big Richie getting stuck in here. Did you even watch the game, mate? Comfortable for Celtic until the Tav scored that free kick. For the first 80 minutes, I don't see how you think you had a chance. You were played off the park. Calmac masterclass had you under wraps. I think Ray Blazer here is I think he's milking this.
Yeah.
A Calmac masterclass for 80 minutes. I think Rangers were the better team first half, like.
Yeah. No, if we look at it, right, I think Rangers were the best team first half. I think Celtic had their spells, Rangers had their spells. Bank towards the end, Rangers could have scored. Second half, right, I felt like it was all Celtic. I would agree with that up until the Tav free kick. But see, for like the last 12 minutes, it was all Rangers.
It was. Richie said, hey, I watched you took your chances. Dessers as a duffer, and any other decent Rangers striker would have buried that. Similar poor choice in the final third. You hardly played us off the park. I'm less convinced with how you play. I'll check back in May, mate, and we'll see. Eh? Please do. Mind the gap, mate. But you can't be serious when you say that wasn't a standout performance of Celtic. The game was put to bed within 50 minutes. It was 2-0 after 50 minutes. Like, I wouldn't say it was put to bed. How is it put to bed? Celtic were hanging on going into the last minute.
It was the equivalent. You went to bed and you've pissed the bed and you've got up.
Aye, you have to change the sheets.
Aye.
Wait, this guy's how
Well,
could,
Celtic fans probably wouldn't change the sheets like they pitched the bed, so
how can he say it was put to bed when Celtic had their backs to the wall despite a man advantage with like literally going into the last minute?
yeah. Come on, man.
Put to bed's like 3-4-0 and Rangers don't get a sniff.
Aye.
I mean, what the fuck? User 1 win in 10 years in Europe, but they'll still win it. Scottish football isn't bent. I'm honest. All right, but what has that got to? What has 1 win in Europe in the last 10 years got to do with winning the club of the year for 2023?
Well, I mean, we do factor it in, but yeah, you're right. It doesn't really matter.
One win in 10 years.
This year matters, not the 10 years.
Aye, but 1 win in 10 years doesn't mean shit.
No, it doesn't. No,
now, if you said 1 win out of 6
aye,
this year, then that's fair enough. Ah, God, I don't get that. Bowl of Cinder said, Rangers fans really think they should be up here. For what? Purposely coming in second place. Aye, I mean, why not? Second place.
See, that's my problem. I think if you think Rangers deserve to be on this list, then you clearly think that finishing second and getting pumped out of Hampden twice by Celtic is fine. I mean, no, let's not kid ourselves. Rangers get beat twice in the cup by Celtic and lost the league last season. Is that good enough?
No.
I mean, I think if you're a Rangers fan, you think they deserve to be on this list because they topped the Europa League group and won a Fire Play Cup, but they lost the other 3 trophies at the back end of last season. You're deluded. Sorry, it's delusion.
Yeah, especially...
It's the reason why the standards have fallen.
Especially
it's not
in a two-horse race.
It's that simple.
If Aberdeen or someone had Rangers' record, then you can make a good case for them.
Yeah, I'm not saying throw barriers, but, I mean, sort of call it. Anyway, TBFI says Botswana. None to choose from.
Rangers fan.
RSWN. I'm just botching all these names, but I don't like the fact that YouTube's changed it into their at.
Ah, yes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does.
Yeah, he says Falkirk, Rafe Rovers.
How can it be Falkirk?
Yeah.
Got pumped off Airdrie, and they're in a battle with Hamilton. Yeah, they're doing okay this season, but it's not Falkirk. You can't have Falkirk above Dunfermline and Airdrie. You just can't. Rafe Rovers. I mean, if this season potentially yes, but overall as a year, I don't think they've done enough last year.
Let's actually just acknowledge this comment. You read that. I'm fucking getting a migraine.
Rangers all the way. The only 2 teams who have had more confidence points in the past 5 years.
Coefficient. But he said confidence.
I'm just saying what he said. Confidence points in the past 5 years. Rangers are beaten by only Manchester City and Bayern Munich. Have done no more for their country than Rangers, and Celtic are 41 places behind Rangers at the top 100 tries to bury my team, which is the reason Scotland has European spots. That's all well and good, but those coefficient points are decided over a 5-year season, and this is based on who is the best SPFL team of 2023. So all those European runs and stuff like that, it doesn't matter.
No, it gets me, right? I think, see, when you use these arguments, let's just say the shoe was on the other foot. Would this guy be like, yeah, I know we've won the treble this year and, we're looking good in the league, but...
and we've done 9 in a row, but...
Yeah, but Celtic across the last 5 years, have done really well in Europe.
They've got more coefficient points.
No, fuck off. The argument is irrelevant. I'm sorry.
What next? Rangers have more possession in their games?
We won the Petro Cup trophy, man.
Higher expected goal ratio? Or, I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Come on. Did you watch the game at the weekend? You were nowhere to be seen. The gap is still absolutely massive. Best team in Scotland, RUI. Maybe try being top of the league first. Raise Blazer. Poundland Ultras is Putin Kilmarnock.
I considered putting Kilmarnock on the list, but last season they did spend it. What?
Poundland Rasputin. I'm calling them Poundland Raz Ultras.
Yeah, I mean they did spend. They spent the majority of last season surviving a relegation.
No, but look at Tim Celtic's comment. Right, Sevco's still shit. Your team's on the list. How about you just vote it and be like, yay, Celtic, they're on the list.
Instead of talking about a team that isn't on the list.
Yeah. Pacific Shelf should be on the list. Oh, wait, they are. What the fuck's this all about? I don't know, Dundee Taylor, what's it about?
Well, you're on it, Dundee. You're there. You've made... What a lot of shite. Again, is this a Rangers fans? Assuming that Rangers should be... Rangers just shouldn't be on this. It's a fucking fact.
No, if you're a Rangers fan and you think Rangers should be on this list, then you accept failure. It's that fucking simple.
You haven't been top of the table this year, I don't believe. And you have won 1 cup. against Aberdeen. He did. Look, it is what it is. But see, beating Celtic in the final has more weight on it. It does.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rangers have lost 5 Old Firms this year. 2 of them being cup matches, and the other being detrimental to the league.
Although they did win the most, the most least meaningful one.
Now I get it. You could lose 5 Old Firms and somehow miraculously still win the league or something, but we didn't do that. So.
Yeah, how do you think Rangers would be doing this season if they had Sakala and Čulak?
Better, that's for sure.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, guys, that's it. Look, Celtic Club of the Year. I agree. They won the treble, and they're still currently top. So I think they spent 51 weeks out of the 52, top of the table. You can't really knock that.
No, you can't.
So yeah, I'm voting Celtic.
I'm voting Celtic too.